Well, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 18 of the Paws Up podcast. Thank you all for tuning into us, whether you're on our Twitter account or the Lemon City Live Facebook and or YouTube. Joined with me, of course, is Jonathan Mayer, stepping in for Kevin Barral, who is out today. He's over in Coral Gables. Don't even ask me why. And with us today, a very special guest. Welcome, Grayson James. How are you doing, Grayson?
I'm doing good, guys. Obviously, good to talk to you again. But yeah, I'm doing good. Obviously, just finishing finals week this week, finishing up the
Yeah.
semester. Spring ball didn't quite end how we wanted to with Mother Nature, but just trying to finish the year out strong.
No, I feel you completely. We were all a bit disappointed at how the spring showcase turned out, but again, I mean, no one can control the weather, sadly. So
Yeah, that's very true.
still, there was a lot of fun and a lot of hype for the upcoming football season, which we'll talk about quite a bit. So let's just get into it, Grayson. Let's start off talking about your time with FIU so far. You're in your junior year with the team, and just how's FIU treating you so far, and just what do you think about the campus and just chilling in the city of Miami?
Obviously, it's definitely been great. Obviously, just to see the city of Miami, all that it brings. I mean, the weather that we already talked about, and obviously the humidity that comes with that. It's been an adjustment, I'd say, but I've definitely enjoyed it. Talking about how I got here, obviously, Bryn Renner was the one who recruited me here back with the old staff when Butch was here. And he was probably I would say, the biggest reason that I ended up coming here, along with just learning about the school afterwards, with just how weird the COVID recruitment was. And then obviously with Coach Mack and Coach Yost and the rest of the staff coming in this last year, I was able to change the culture, as you guys were able to see, just obviously be able to see our talent, be able to show, and just continued development with culture and just production was able to happen. And now we're on to year two with Coach Mack, and I feel like we had a really good spring. Got some new guys, young guys, some experience and some burn, and be able to showcase what they're able to do and just continually build that chemistry has been fun for sure.
Oh, and Grayson, I was going to ask you. Obviously, your first year in 2021 as a freshman, you were the backup to Max Borgenschlager, and I want to know, what was it learning from him? Obviously, he's the all-time single-season passing yards leader, and obviously Tyrese got the receiving yards. What was it like learning from Max, who was a guy that was from Maryland, came in here, and a really veteran-like guy here at FIU?
It's definitely really nice. I have all the respect in the world for Max, just because he's been through so much. Obviously, coming from Maryland to FIU, and I remember when he was at Maryland, I know he had multiple OCs. So I want to say just having that experience of having to learn so many playbooks in so few years. Just being able to pick his brain was definitely something that I always look forward to doing, because he just knows so much, and he's such a good dude. So just being able to learn from him, see how he handled his business day in and day out. I definitely appreciated being able to see that, and anytime I have advice, I still will reach out to him today, actually.
Wow, that's super cool. That's super cool. We just got a message from our co-host Kevin Brawley saying in enemy territory tonight, but what a game here at Marklight Field, where he's watching the Canes blow out FAU. Wishing you all a good show. Be back next week. All right, thank you, Kevin. And I was talking with you before the show, Grayson. You're the first ever active player we've had on the show, and the support we've received early this morning from all over the FIU athletics landscape, not just football, but also basketball, baseball, soccer. It's super awesome. Just seeing everybody just get hyped that we have an active player.
For sure. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here. Like I said, but yeah, I saw that get posted this morning, and obviously kind of got some attention. So that was good to see. Just obviously be able to be on here with you guys and just get more interaction with the players as well is definitely something that I think can be fun for us moving forward.
So, so you've been, again, as I said earlier, 3 years at FIU. What would you say has been your best overall memory at FIU? If you had to narrow it down to just one moment.
I would say, obviously, the top two have got to be the Bryant game and probably the Louisiana Tech game from last year.
Those were sick.
I would say that's tough just because I think with just the whole situation of how the Bryant game went down, I feel like that's
Mhm.
almost hard to replicate just coming in at halftime and then obviously having to come back in from a deficit in the first game. And I would say probably my first meaningful time and just be able to have that experience with the entire team and the program as the first game of the season and really the new era for Coach Mack was I'd probably have to go with that one just because I don't think you can really top that with I mean, it almost felt like a movie that night.
Mhm. And the Bryant game obviously brought a momentum. Obviously, a big game to begin the season, but that Louisiana Tech game too. That was coming off that win at
Hmm.
Charlotte as well. So you're on
Mhm.
2-game winning streak. Life was
Hmm.
feeling good. So both games absolutely insane. And
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
yeah, let's talk a bit about that 2022 season because obviously the record was 4-8, but I don't think the record tells the whole picture. It doesn't
Oh,
capture the resilience of that team and what the hell they had to overcome. So, how would you best describe that season in your eyes, Grayson?
I would definitely agree with you. I feel like the record definitely doesn't show everything that kind of went into it, or really kind of the talent level, or what we're capable of as a team. Obviously, with how things started, they started on the high note with the Bryant win. I feel like everybody was feeling good, and then we obviously went and played Texas State and the
Hmm.
infamous game against Western Kentucky that I think was kind of like an eye opener for everybody else. And obviously, it could have been a freak out moment, but in a way, I feel like that was probably the turning point for our season just to kind of get everything back on track and having realistic expectations of what it took week in and week out for us to be able to perform at our best ability. And then obviously, we kind of finally hit our stretch in the middle of the year which I feel like you could see
Hmm.
what we were really capable of. We were hitting on all cylinders. You could see the defense growing and offense just showing that explosive capability that I know we can have consistently. And then obviously just how things were at the end of the year, I feel like wasn't an accurate depiction of what we were going to do this year and what we really should have done. I feel like there's a lot of things that kind of didn't go our way, whether that was just execution, injuries, and just certain other things that we had going on. But I'm definitely looking forward to this upcoming season. I know we have a lot of things to build off of, but yeah, just seeing the guys be able to grow all last
Hmm.
season through the ups and downs, most importantly, because that just kind of builds you through adversity and builds your character. I'm looking forward to this upcoming year for sure.
And just one last thing about last year before we move on, the Rory Awards were not that long ago, and if I'm not
Oh yeah,
mistaken, the team MVP for last year was Flex, and my God, did Flex have an amazing season? Do you 100% agree with that? Was it the right pick?
I 100% agree. I mean, Flex, I would say he's the rock. He's the rock of the team. I mean, he's definitely. I would say underrated aspect of him is
Yeah.
that he's one of the smartest guys I've been around. Just when it comes to understanding the game of football, I feel like he's fixed so many things for us, whether that's protection or just the plays that he's able to make. I mean, he's not the biggest guy in stature, but I mean, I'll vouch for it for against anybody that he's probably one of the hardest guys to tackle just because how well he moves and his low center of gravity. So he's just always bound to
Mhm.
make big
Yeah.
plays and give us a spark on offense that we need.
And Grayson, as we move ahead into spring, second year for you under Coach Mack and this spring ball, talk about for you in the comfortability you have. Obviously, the same offense with Coach Yost, and what it's get to how a lot of guys returning as well, and kind of being more comfortable with the spring this year.
Yeah, I definitely think that I mean, there's no replacement for game reps. So just, I could definitely
Yeah.
feel myself from practice, including that, but mainly the games, just every week I could feel myself growing and getting more comfortable, whether that was understanding the offense more, understanding kind of just like when it came to checks and stuff like that, what would help us best out, and just more so learning how to prepare for another opponent every week. And also when it comes with that, getting kind of scouted against, obviously, just when teams start realizing what you do best and try to take that away from you and understanding how other defenses are going to try to limit what you guys do. So I would say that was probably the biggest changes I noticed. But from in terms of a year-to-year improvement, I feel like I made a huge jump, and also in this spring as well. So I'm excited for what's ahead.
Yeah. So staying with that, I think a big part of the offense last year was how explosive the running game could be to lift up the offensive times.
Hmm.
However, as we all know, with Flex Joseph out for the season, unfortunately, How much are you looking forward to seeing how some of the other guys like Kayjon Owens and Antonio Patterson blend into this offense? Because it's big shoes to fill.
Yeah, as much as that loss hurts us with flex, I mean, obviously you want to have him out there. I feel like our running back room is actually really talented. I feel like that
Mm-hmm.
hasn't necessarily been able to be showcased yet, but just from what we see in practice every day, and what I know those guys are consistently capable of, and also a guy like Shamari that we just brought in from the transfer portal.
Yeah.
He's a hard runner. He's a bigger back. I feel like that's something that's good for us to be able to have, just be able to push the pile forward and stuff like that. But yeah, Shamari, Keyjon, and Antonio are all three guys I expect to be big for us this upcoming year, and they're all explosive and talented in their own way. So I'm looking forward to be able to showcase them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about the receivers. Obviously, the guys you're throwing the ball to, and
Yeah.
a lot of returning guys, and I think guys that are stepping up into this second year. Whether it's Chris Mitchell, the fifth-year
Mhm.
guy who looked really good last year. Now talking about being the number one guy, Dean Patterson, who's came out really strong last year, and you add in a couple names like Jalen Parisi, Artez Sucker, among those others, and even freshmen adding along in the fall. But what have you liked from the receiver that you've seen this spring, and how much work can you guys improve on with you under center?
Well, when it comes to receiver room, I feel like nobody in the conference can really say that they have the talent that we do. I mean, we have so much speed in the receiver room and so much big play, explosive capability that I know definitely wasn't showcased to its full extent last year. But just knowing what all our guys are capable of, I'm looking forward to that. Like you mentioned, Chris can obviously run really well. That's what he's known for sure. And then obviously having a consistent guy like Dean who's able to just go and make plays and just be a good leader for us. And then obviously Bracey as well, and Artez and guys like Ross. I mean, I expect them to be a big piece for us. And then someone I know you guys are looking forward to to hear about as well is Eric Rivers. I expect him to be real good for us. He's a transfer, so I mean he's shown some big play capability. He's got some speed to him, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do for us because I know he's going to ball.
Yeah, the Memphis transfer. Yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
He had some nice plays this spring as well, so
Yeah.
I agree with you there. But also adding to that, obviously a tough year or last year from the standpoint of the offensive line. There were times where some injuries and health problems kind of affected the gameplay. Overall, assuming the line can stay healthy, how much better can the offense even grow into 2023?
Yeah, I think similar to kind of the quarterback position, just being able to have that consistency of being out there on the field. I think O-line is big. So just having those young guys last year get those reps, and then obviously with certain people leaving in the spring, getting other guys reps as well is big for them. Just to be able to have that continuity up front, obviously, because they communicate a lot as much as me, or if not more, just being able to pass things off, understanding who they're blocking. So just kind of having that chemistry with each other, I think is huge for them. So just having those reps, I think, is going to be really good. And I've seen growth in them throughout the whole spring. I know the coaching staff has as well. So I'm excited for them. I know we have some transfers coming in and young guys like Travis Burke and Nair Jackson that we're trying to and JD Lee as well that we're trying to get going in. And obviously we've got returners like Bach and Peace and Phillip Houston. So they'll be able to hold it down from the veteran aspect of it.
Let's briefly talk a bit about the other quarterbacks on the roster. Obviously, everyone wants to be the starter come week. It's not 1, it's 0 versus Louisiana Tech. But being the veteran in that position, what have you learned from the other quarterbacks, and what do you think you've taught them in the process?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I kind of joke about it all the time. I feel like I'm the veteran in the room, especially when it comes to playing time and certain in that aspect as well. So I feel like I've barely been here. So just to kind of be in that position is kind of ironic. But I would say just the maturation process for myself has been something I've focused on a lot. Just understanding that you kind of have to be that consistent force or a consistent positive force for the team and for the room, and just kind of showing other guys kind of how to keep your composure and how to handle your business and your preparation is something that I strive to set an example for.
And we look ahead into the schedule. Oh, what were you saying, Jake?
No. Go ahead, Johnny.
Oh, I was gonna say we already have the schedule out, and it's an interesting schedule. We talked about week 0. We give you the first game of the year, and then you got the midweek games on the Wednesdays on national television, which will be exciting for exposure for you guys in the program. But what are some games you're looking forward to be playing in from a standpoint of teams per se?
I feel like anybody that kind of was on the schedule last year, I'm definitely looking forward to that. We obviously it was a close game, or we didn't get the win like we wanted to. But I think opening up against La Tech will definitely be fun. Obviously, just with how that game went last year, I know they'll be coming in looking for some revenge when we go to their place. So that'll be fun for sure. And obviously, when we play North Texas again, that's always kind of like a personal game, just because those guys are from home, and I know some people on the team. And then I would say UConn for sure. That'll be fun to go up there. That's a trip I'm looking forward to. And then just like you guys, I'm curious to see how these midweek games will turn out. It's going to be an interesting experience for us all and a first. So playing on Wednesdays will be interesting. I'm not going to lie. I'm curious to see how that plays out with traveling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously we have, I would say Arkansas second to last game.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that for sure, because that's always a fun experience. I remember my freshman year when we went to play Texas Tech, what that was like, just being in that environment.
Yeah.
And just kind of what it took preparation-wise that week is something that I'm looking forward to, and it's exciting just having that big opponent ahead, and what the competition level is going to be that week.
Mm-hmm. I'd love to talk a bit about the spring show. It's not a spring game. It's a spring showcase that was this Saturday. We were all there, of course, but things didn't work out. Got rained out, which is unfortunate, but this happened. Okay, that was cool. What I want to know, Grayson, is who started it and who ended it?
The funny thing about that, who started, was actually Coach Mack. I think everybody was actually just kind of in there chilling, just kind of ready to see what the news was going to be about when we were going to go back out there. And Coach Mack came back in from being outside the locker room, and he started he turned the speaker on, and he just kind of yelled out, let's get some music. And he kind of started a little dance battle between some of the guys, and that turned to the huddle, and then that turned into obviously going on Instagram. So it was fun to be able to see that. Obviously, just kind of being in South Florida, that's just the vibe from a lot of the guys on the team, like to have fun and be able to dance. So just seeing that personality is fun to see from us.
I gotta ask, how would you rate Coach Mack's dance skills? I mean, you couldn't see a whole lot, but you guys can see more.
I know he might see this, he might be watching, but I don't know. I might have to go like 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. But I want to see him versus Chase though. That would be a sight to see.
Yeah,
him versus Chase is something I gotta ask for sure.
We keep hearing these amazing things about Chase. So I mean, hey Chase, if you're watching, you know what you got to do, right? Yeah. Well, I played that video because I needed a good transition to this comment from Kevin saying we need Grayson's top Drake songs since Eric Henry obviously loves Drake.
Oh, that's too funny. Yeah, shout out my boy Eric. I know he's moving on to some nice opportunities going forward, but I'll always argue with him that Drake is the GOAT, even though he's not the biggest fan, but it's okay. I stand firm in my opinion on that one.
All right. Well, cool. Again, and yes, yeah, you're absolutely right. Shout out Eric Henry, just one of the GOATs of FIU athletics on social media, and just getting the word of the Panthers out there. We wish Eric best of luck in his next opportunity. So going back to 2023, something that'll be interesting to see this season is how the new Conference USA 2.0 plays out with a good chunk of the teams gone and a few more brought in, a couple of which are from FCS. Just how do you feel FIU? Where does FIU stand in the conference at this moment, being the wild, wild west of conferences?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the conference. I'd say is probably a little bit all over the place, just in terms of kind of geographically speaking. But
Hmm.
where we stand, I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I know we can definitely be competitive in the conference this year. Just obviously with what we're bringing back and I know everybody's been improving, but just in terms of who we're playing as well, I feel confident about being able to be competitive and obviously getting some more wins this year. So it'll be fun. I know we got. I'm looking forward to adding Liberty. I know that'll be a
Hmm.
big opponent to have. Obviously, just returning just the usual powerhouse that is Western Kentucky that be presumed to be at the top every year. And Middleton would be good just having them as well. But I'm curious to see how it'll be with New Mexico State. Obviously, we played
Yeah.
them last year, and that was a big win for us. So that'll be a fun game. And then Jacksonville State, I know we've FIU's played them. I want to say in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are
In
some
2020.
familiar foes, but yeah, familiar foes on the schedule. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. It'll be fun just to have some new faces in the conference and just some new places to go to as well. So it'll be a fun year.
And as I'm sitting here interested seeing all the teams that left the conference to go to either the Sun Belt or the AAC, I'm just wondering if there are any teams that left that low key you're kind of thinking, oh, I'm kind of happy they're out of the conference and one less thing to worry about.
I wouldn't say there's anybody that I'm like happy they're gone. If anything, I would say the only team I wish didn't leave is FAU, just because the guaranteed just rivalry. You
Hmm.
know, just obviously the last 2 years we haven't beat them that I've been there, so not being able to play them next year is kind of disappointing in my opinion. But
Weird,
I mean, I know we play them
strange.
the fall. Yeah, it's going to be more weird than anything. But I know we play them 2024, I believe. So,
Hmm.
It's crazy how there are
so that'll be
Wednesday
coming back.
football
But
games and a bunch of night games, but the craziest thing is that we're not playing the Owls. It just I don't know.
I
It's
know.
it. As long as there's been FIU football, there's been the Shula Bowl. So,
Yeah.
um, Gus asks a great question. Shout out to Gus. Who are you most excited about beating next season? Whoa, what a question, Gus.
I mean, I want to say I feel like the easy answer is everybody, but
Everybody.
um, I would say for me personally, the game I'm looking forward to the most is probably Western Kentucky, just because
Hmm.
how that game went last year. I feel like there's so much that was left on the table, or it was just kind of more misconceiving than anything else. Because I mean, anytime you see a score like that, I mean, I feel like there's got to be
Yeah.
more to the story, and
Hmm.
I'm definitely looking forward to being able to kind of make up for that and get another chance to go like those guys.
Coming back here too. We're at home.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
you're
yep.
right. You're
Yeah,
right.
regular season finale. So
Yeah.
Hmm.
that'll be a good one.
So, Grayson, something interesting that we saw last week was the rule change in college football. There were a few rule changes, but the biggest one was that the game clock is no longer going to stop after a first down, except for under 2 minutes and a half. Just tell us, what do you think about the change? Was it needed or was it unnecessary?
I mean, honestly, I'm interested to see how it plays out. I think it might be good just for in terms of like player safety. I feel like it would probably bring the
Mhm.
number of plays down just with that clock continuously running. So I definitely think that would probably be good to avoid injuries and certain things like that, and obviously speed up the pace of the game. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm excited for it. And then obviously it doesn't change anything for 2 minutes. So I mean, 2 minutes always the crunch time, and I
Yeah.
mean that's kind of what you kind of think about growing up is those moments to go win the game. So that'll still be fun, but I'm looking forward to it. And I think personally, I think it'll be probably good for just player health and just the
Hmm.
continuation of having a positive season going forward without injuries.
Do you have any other rule changes in mind for college football, or?
As long as they can keep the uniform police away from us, I have
Hmm.
no complaints. I know Coach Mack was really big on the uniform rules whenever he first got here. So that's definitely something I would say. As long as they stay away from us, I have no complaints. Knee
Well,
pads just need to be above the knees, and if that's okay, then I'm real quiet over here.
good answer. So, speaking of uniforms, because I do love me some uniforms. FIU announced, I want to say like it's been a month ago, that
Hmm.
you're going to be getting some
Yeah.
Vice uniforms. Do you have any insight that you can share with us on what we can expect?
I mean, I can't give away all the goodies, but I know we have some good things in store for sure. I mean, I know we got the Vice ones coming up that they announced, and I know there's definitely some other things in store that we're cooking up. And I got to give a shout out to my guy Ricky, my equipment
Oh yeah.
manager. That's the man with the plan, the man with all the gear. So you got to show love to the equipment guys. They're always on top of their things, helping us out as much as they can, as quickly as possible. So I appreciate all the work that they do. So Ricky, I know he's cooking up some good things for us. So I mean, it'll be good to see.
Yes, sir. By the way, before we get to news break, I did want to talk about something that we've talked about for a couple of episodes on the show, and that's just the transfer portal in general. When we spoke with David Drucker, he pretty much slandered it for 10 minutes straight. But when we talked with Eric Henry about it, he was very supportive of it. So who better to talk about the transfer portal than someone who, of course, is around it, being an active football player? Just what are your thoughts on the state of the transfer portal?
I mean, I definitely see both sides to it. I think it can be good for players. Obviously, it's really always just depends on your own like personal situation. I feel like it can be good, but all about just kind of your situation and your motives for entering. I think it can be both good and bad. Obviously, being an FIU fan, it kind of feels like you get your heart ripped out of you every time you see one of our like productive players into the portal. But I feel like
Chambers,
that's just
yeah.
that's kind of the state of college football these days, especially being one of the smaller schools. I feel like it's just common to just kind of have your talent poached away from bigger schools. So I feel like that's something that you kind of just have to be prepared for. And I feel like our staff has done a good job being able to replace those pieces to the best of our ability. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to the guys we've brought in. It hurts losing certain people that have entered the portal, but I mean, I personally think I think it can be a good thing, just depending on what your situation is. But I mean, always, if it works out best for you, then I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
And as Grayson, as we wrap, kind of looking ahead into 2023, I want to ask you, what is your mindset for this year? I know 4-8 last year, and look, 4-8, people thought you guys weren't going to even win a single game. That's overachieving, but still, it feels like this year you have a lot bigger things ahead. What is the mindset for this team? Kind of about to, if you guys can win more games, a lot of history for you guys to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like obviously last year we won those 4 games, which is more than really a lot of people expected us to. But I mean, personally, I feel like we are capable of so much more and should have won more than those 4. But looking forward to this upcoming year. It's just kind of taking it week by week and not looking too far ahead for anything else. And I mean, I know we'll be prepared, and I mean, I know the expectations are definitely high this year. And I mean, there's no reason in my eyes that we can't go to a bowl game for sure. And I know that would be a big deal for this school. So I mean, that's definitely something that I have as a personal goal to be able to get FIU back to bowl season for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while, but we're all hoping, right? So
Yes, sir.
let's take a quick break then, and it is time. Oh, I did it right. Cool. For the Paws Up podcast news break, a quick look at some of the latest news from FIU athletics and just FIU in general. Let's conveniently stay with football. The Panthers announced earlier today that they've locked in a future home-and-home series with the South Florida Bulls of the American Athletic Conference, or should I say not so South? Tampa's not South, guys. The first game of the series will be played at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa in 2026, with the latter game back in Miami at the FIU Football Stadium in 2029. This is another team added to the list of non-conference opponents for FIU in the years to come, which includes teams such as previously mentioned FAU, North Texas, along with Indiana, Central Michigan, and UConn. Moving on to baseball. Yesterday, Cleveland Guardians pitcher and former FIU Panther Logan Allen recorded his first ever start in the big leagues against the hometown Miami Marlins, and he did not disappoint. In 6 innings of work, Allen struck out 8 batters and only gave up 5 hits, and 1 earned run. The Guardians went on to beat the Marlins by a score of 7-4. Next up, FIU's Graduate International Business Program has improved its national position in the category to number 4 in the U.S. News and World Report rankings. In addition, it's second in the nation among public universities and is FIU's top-ranked program overall. Some other noteworthy FIU programs included for the top 100 for public universities are nursing, public health, public affairs, and engineering. Finally, the Paws Up podcast Twitter account hit 100 followers earlier today. I posted this earlier on Twitter, but a big thank you to all the students, alumni, athletes, and fans of FIU that have followed the account and have supported us from episode 1 all the way back in November of last year to now. So thank you guys very much. We have some awesome content coming up. And that was your news break. So let's get right back into it. Grayson James, again, we can't thank you enough for being here and just taking some time to talk some football. Let's get a couple of comments from some of our viewers. This Sean Prendergast says, "Hey Grayson, Willie P's Pops here. Have a great feeling y'all will make a bowl game next year. Jeep representing Texas. Well, my man."
What's up, Mr. Prendergast? Obviously, you see I'm repping our great state right here. So, and me and Will are actually he's from Prosper, which is probably 30 minutes or so around from where I live. So we live pretty close to each other. But obviously, we appreciate the support from back home, and I definitely agree with you about the bowl game. So, me and my boy Will, we would definitely do our best to hold it down.
Fantastic, my man. All right, cool. Moving on back to Gus. Oh, and this is a good one. Coming from Texas and after getting a taste of Miami's football culture, what are some of the similarities that stick out to you between the two football powerhouse cultures? And who do you think will win an all-star game between the two?
Ooh, I mean, obviously, I gotta go with Texas. We're the best state for football, for undisputed high school football. Just in general, we produce the most easily. But I like us in the game for sure. But in terms of just the comparison between the two, obviously, I feel like both states are just very talent rich in terms of just having athletes in general. I will say though, just coming down here, just guy for guy, I think the speed might be a little more lethal down here in Miami, just in general, because I swear everybody is fast and everybody can run.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing I would say. But
and I gotta say, if we're talking like the greatest football players to come from Miami, like who on an all-star Texas offense is getting past Ray Lewis in his prime at Miami? Who's doing that?
Ooh, see, he's just saying Texas, just saying. He knows. Culture-wise, but I don't know. Have you guys seen the stadiums that we have in Texas? I don't know.
They are massive.
And we don't play about football. Yeah, we don't play about football back home. That's for sure at all. But I mean, that's a fair question to ask about Ray Lewis. I don't know. I don't know about too many guys that want to say they want to go up against that guy.
Alrighty then, let's kick it off with some miscellaneous questions we have here. Johnny, kick us off.
Yeah, so you said Jace Gabriel is your funniest teammate, but are you still going with him? Who's overall funniest guy in the locker room?
I think to give him a run for his money is my boy Christoph Polis.
K1.
Yeah, K1. I don't know. Them two right
Okay.
there. I mean, them two right there need definitely a competition. But yeah, having those guys in the locker room is always a joy. I mean, they're always real upbeat. Just always having that entertainment. It's just they're always good to have around. Just good dudes, good vibes. So I mean, I enjoy having them as teammates for sure.
Who are you giving the aux cord to, and who are you not giving the aux cord to?
Ooh, I think I would give the aux cord to myself because I mean, in terms of versatility, I would give myself the crown for that. But who would I not give it to? Probably Jamal Potts, because all we would get is you would just only get music from the Instagram video the other day. All the hip shaking Miami beats and stuff like that. I would not give it to him. That's not fun to come into at 6 a.m. for sure. So
Sorry.
yeah, that's painful on the brain early in the morning.
Who's the team hype man? Who's getting fired up?
Ooh, I think I got to go Reggie Pete. He's
Okay.
always on 110 with him. There's no, it's 0 or 110 with him. So I mean, having him as a rah guy, I definitely enjoy. I mean, it definitely kind of gets on your nerves a little bit at practice when you have him going back and forth with the offense. But having him on your side on Saturday is definitely fun. Just having that competitive fire with him and just kind of be able to go jaw back and forth with other guys. Just that having that competitive nature is something that I enjoy being around with him.
Though I will say I have heard some amazing pep talks from Coach Mike McIntyre. He's really good at those. He knows how to make it entrance, and yeah, he is absolutely lights out.
Lights out! Lights out!
I see what you did there. That was good.
Yeah,
that was good.
I had to get my status quo in. So what's the go-to spot on campus for food, Grayson? Where are you going to get your meal?
Ooh, I feel like you can't go wrong with Chick-fil-A, but I feel like the go-to is Myro's food truck. Dude, yeah, that's my number one. I can't go wrong with that one, especially with just how many different things he has and just kind of having that food truck feel. I feel like it also just kind of gives it an extra boost too. So that's definitely my favorite.
That's the one right outside Green Library, right? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, by the library in GC.
What's the
their
meal?
Chicken strips are very good. Yes.
Yeah, you mentioned that. My go-to is the lemon pepper tender meal. That's my go-to with the extra sauce. The extra sauce, can't beat it.
And now, Grayson, I gotta ask you. You told us that you're the Cowboys. You root for them. I think. Do you root for every Dallas team? All of them?
Honestly, for the only team I wouldn't say is baseball. I mean, I'm kind of, when it comes to baseball, I'm kind of more open. I'd say probably more of a player guy when it comes to baseball. But for football, Dallas Cowboys, obviously, we're America's team. We're winning the Super Bowl every single year. You guys know that as well as I do. And then for basketball, the Mavs as well. So, but yeah, big Cowboy fan.
And I will give Dallas their props. They have Ty, and we all love Ty, and loved him when he was in Indianapolis, and I think he's found himself a good home with Dak and the Cowboys offense. And hey, the fact that they knocked off Brady in like his last game ever.
Yeah, I know we sent him home for the last time. Yeah, you never know with him. Yeah, it's no guarantee he stays retired.
So, talking to a quarterback, I have to ask you a quarterback-esque question. Who is on your Mount Rushmore of NFL quarterbacks?
Ooh, I feel like that's definitely like a generation type question, because I don't want to rub anybody the wrong way, but for me, I feel like obviously Tom Brady, he's up there for sure. Aaron Rodgers, I'd say number 2, especially just kind of how he's just changed the game so much with just how he throws the football. Obviously, there's not the accolades as much, like Super Bowl wise, that other guys have. I feel like Peyton Manning's got to be up there too.
Okay.
And then for a number 4, for me growing up, also just see him, I feel like he was like the model for consistency is Drew Brees. I feel like he was always just, you knew he was going to throw for 5,000 every single year. I mean, they were going to be in the playoffs. They were going to be competitive. So I feel like he's got to be number 4.
I would have bet you said Drew Brees. Yeah, that's a great list. That's a great list.
I like how you pick the guys you've seen, because sometimes people are like, oh, that's wrong. But like, if you've seen the quarterback, like, that's your choice. Yeah. I
agree.
And I got to ask you, we talked watching sports. I saw you and the team out at baseball and softball, I think, this past weekend. But what's your favorite team watching at FIU, whether it's basketball or all the other sports? What's your favorite one?
I'll probably say the basketball games are the most fun. I feel like just obviously with how many people end up coming to those games, and and then the team was I would say pretty good this last year as well. So just that environment, having everybody in the arena, I feel like is always a nice experience. And obviously when we're winning, it's even more fun. I mean, and then we get some alley oops going, get some paws up on the free throws. I mean. You get the whole environment, fans involved. I feel like it's always can't really beat that in a basketball game.
Have you been to a soccer match on campus, Grayson?
I have. I actually been. Those games are actually wild. I mean, I didn't grow up like a big fan of soccer, so I can't really enjoy it because I don't understand it as much. I feel like compared to basketball, but I have been to some of those, and I went to what game was it in the one we hosted in the playoffs, I want to say. I can't remember who we went against.
New Hampshire?
Yes.
The one that went to shootouts forever?
Yes.
Okay.
But yeah, just being able to see that environment was awesome just because I know being down here in Miami and obviously soccer is like the world sport as much as it hurts to say that. So yeah, just seeing that appreciation and the vibes at those games is always fun.
We'll let that comment slide because we are FIU and the I stands for international, right? But
yes, that's very true.
What do you think about the current state of the FIU football stadium? Because it's undergoing some small renovations. Obviously, with that donation they got, to be upgrading the locker rooms and some hydrotherapeutic facilities as well, which sounds super, super cool. So just what do you think about your workspace?
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. When we come back in the summer with a new locker room, that's going to be exciting. I feel like just kind of thinking back to the recruitment process, I feel like that's one of the things you kind of always look forward to is kind of seeing what the locker room looks like. So just having that will be definitely exciting for us. I know that'll be good for recruitment as well, just getting guys in and being able to see that. I'm excited for that. And then obviously with the hydrotherapy pools, I mean, that would be good for recovery because that's definitely a big thing for us just with how much we put on our bodies. I'm looking forward to that. And I know that's obviously just having Scott Carr as our AD has been really nice because he's just been so progressive and so just building that foundation and taking FIU to another level. I have all the respect for him, and I appreciate everything that he's done for not only us as the football program, but just the entire athletics department in general is something that I know everybody's thankful to have him here.
Well, since we are a podcast, and I almost guarantee you Scott's watching this right now. Do you have any suggestions or anything you'd like to see yourself improve for the football stadium, or maybe some other facilities on campus that you'd just like to get your message out?
Let me think. I know we're getting our a dining hall, so I mean I can't really complain there. I mean we've obviously upgraded our stadium club just with other things that we have in there for just for entertainment and recovery. I feel like honestly, I mean we're getting new uniforms. There's not much we can really ask for. I mean he's doing everything that kind of you want as an athlete. Just seeing that promotion for us, that driving force to just kind of continue to grow the program and be able to have as much exposure for us. I don't think there's really much that I can say that he's not doing. So, I mean, shout out to the man with the plan.
All righty. Johnny, do you have anything else, my man?
I mean, honestly, it's just great having a student athlete on, I would say for sure. It's a different, mindset between, having an adult, I would say. I mean, we're all adults, but you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of cool having a student athlete hear their experience and, what it's like, being, playing football at the highest level.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said earlier, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I know that just kind of gives that different perspective, the interaction. I feel like it's kind of good. Obviously, I know that there'll probably be some other student athletes on after me as well. So it's an honor to be the first active one to be on here. So I appreciate you guys for having me on.
I'm super happy you specified active because shout out to Billy Gill, who was technically speaking, and we have photo evidence, except I don't have the photo with me right now, the first ever athlete on the show. He was a track and field GOAT from what he said on his episode of the show. But Grayson, we can't thank you enough for joining us today for episode 18 of the Paws Up podcast. And as we close out here, approaching 45 minutes, a bit earlier than we anticipated, but it's all good. I'd like to just give you the room. If you have anything you'd like to tell the fans of FIU prior to the upcoming 2023 football season, now would be the time. So go for it.
I would just like to say I'm thankful for the continued support. I know my teammates are as well. I know that the spring game or spring showcase didn't happen like we all were looking forward to, but just the continued support is appreciated. And I know we're looking forward to showing you guys more excitement this upcoming season and continue to improve on what we were building last year and just show everything that Coach Mack is building here at FIU. And then also a fun fact is, me and my man Jonathan, we live on the same floor, so I'll be seeing you around. I'll be seeing him around before
University
the semester's over. Towers.
I won't tell
Towers,
you what number.
Towers,
I won't tell you what number it is, though. I won't tell you. I won't tell you the number it is, man.
Oh, so you two have run into each other late at night, going to Breezeway, getting having the munchies, getting some Breezeway cookies. That's I learned a lot about Johnny today. I didn't even expect that. Okay. Well, again, Grayson, thanks for being on the show. You've been an awesome guest, and hopefully we can maybe bring you back on the show at the end of the season when you've hoisted the Conference USA Championship trophy and just beat, I don't know, Miami in the Orange Bowl. I don't know, but we'll
sounds good to me.
Anything's possible. We all love this sport. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. It's been fun for sure. So I definitely look forward to it. Anytime you guys want to have me on, I'm always down for that. So just let me know. Awesome.
So again, I speak for myself with, of course, my good friend Jonathan Mayer and our amazing guest Grayson James when I say, have a great night, everybody. Thank you for watching, whether it was on the Paws Up Twitter account or the Lemon City Facebook and YouTube. And as always, Paws up.
Paws up.